All right, here we go. Muscles and Magic. I am Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles. You are on my Muscles and Magic the Gathering YouTube channel. It's late Wednesday night where I am from, but I want to make sure I go live at least once a week to talk to you about one of my favorite hobbies, one of the biggest passions in my life, Magic the Gathering. And today we're going to do a couple of special things. We're going to look over my Dragon deck. I think it's one of the best dragon decks you're ever going to see. On one of my YouTube videos, I actually break down every card in this deck. I'm going to go over a couple of cards that I just picked up tonight, and we're going to do a little pack opening, one of my favorite sets of all time, the Brothers War. Bearded Nerd, what's up, Coach? Bearded Nerd, Brian, how are you? Really, really good friend of mine, really accomplished and well-known in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, a cousin to Magic the Gathering. And so Bearded Nerd, welcome. What are you up to tonight? You doing any gaming? You having any fun? We got to get you more Magic the Gathering decks so we can play together and have a little fun. Maybe play online, do some things. It'll be great. But anyway, Tarkir, Dragonstorm. The spoilers are all over the internet. People are going absolutely bonkers over it. And I have got some spoilers listed up here. And frankly, some cards I really want for my dragon deck. The big one I want to talk about tonight are these rare lands. Specifically, the Mist Rise Village. This land enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest. You add 1 blue mana if you tap it, and then if you pay 1 blue mana and tap it, the next spell you cast this turn cannot be countered. That, let me tell you, is absolutely bonkers, that card. So that's a spoiler I'm really, really excited for. I'm really, really excited for this Max Josper. The Elspeth Planeswalker that acts as a token doubler is absolutely bananas. I can't wait for that card. Now, that one's not going to go in my dragon deck because that is all dragons, but I'm going to need 3 of those. 1 for my humans deck, 1 for my, it's a white and black aristocrat deck, and I'm going to need 1 for my angel deck. So I can't wait for Elspeth. There's a lot of good cards in this set. Like looking at it, there's a whole bunch of dragons to add to. So let's get down to business. We will look over my dragon deck just a little bit here. So the first of all, the commander is your dragon. I think it's the best dragon commander. Miriam Sentinel Worm, who's up next, could have an argument for the best dragon commander. I think this is really, really, really underrated, to tell you the truth. But I went with the Dragon because my decks are about playability, but my decks are also about collecting. And the 5 dragon deck allows me to put a bunch of different dragons in my deck, like dragons that I want to show off, dragons that I want to play with. And this light is really bothering me. Let me turn this up a little bit here. That's going to be a little bit better. Get a little bit of brighter light on me. There we go. We have illumination. All right. So anyway, back to the script. And these are live. These are unscripted, actually. It's just me talking to my friends live. All right. So the Dragon has 5 colors, which means I can include all the dragons that I want to include that are in my collection. Miriam only has 3 colors, so I'm limited on the amount of dragons I can put in. You can make an argument that a 3-color deck is more competitive than a 5-color deck, but I don't think you can go wrong, honestly, with either one of these commanders. Brian says, the Bearded Nerd says, I don't know, am I allowed to call you Brian on this thing? Because I know you personally. Worked out twice today. Great day of training, eating, spent time with the kids, and now I'm writing up a new campaign module inspired by Polynesian culture. Love it, and I'd love for you to share that with me. I actually really need to get into D&D, and you're going to be my teacher, my trainer, all right? So what else do we got in the deck? 3 steps behind. Essica, God of the Tree, has Vigilance, add 1 mana of any color. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance, add 1 mana of any color. Love that card. One of those tri-lands, Zeotor's Proving Ground, Underground River. We've got Relic of Legends, Carpulsion Forest, the Soul Ring. Our first dual land, Tropical Island, Arcane Signet, Skitherix of Light Dragon, Assassin's Trophy, Addarkar Waste. Look at this. We have a serialized Ramos Dragon Engine. You know that had to go in the deck. It's also a card I love. The Goldspan Dragon, Darkboar Pathway, Blooming Marsh, Old Gnawbone, Minion of the Mighty, Cavern of Souls. An offer you can't refuse. I actually did a short today about 3 budget blue cards that you should include in any deck, and this is one of them right here. It's a 1-drop. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. That might seem like a high price to give somebody 2 treasure tokens, but I promise you it is 100% worth it to block somebody in the early game. Dragon Arch, Clearwater Pathway, Shivan Devastator, Ancient Tomb, Yavimaya, Critical Growth, Chromatic Lantern, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Herald's Horn, Dragon Lord Dromoka, another dual land, Scourge of Valkis. Now this card goes bonkers with another card, so I'm going to keep that out for a second. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Swords to Plowshares. I think one of the best removal spells in the game. Training Center, Hellkite Courser, Ancient Copper Dragon, Mystic Remora. It's like a budget version of the Rhystic Study. Works just as well in some cases. Another dual land, Sulphur Springs, Path to Exile. Another great card to exile somebody's creature. Xander's Lounge. Ooh, Twin Flame Tyrant. Really nice version of that card. Mox Amber. Sneak Attack, Dragon Speaker Shaman, Urzid Incubator, Dragon Tempest, Aggravated Assault, Command Tower, Pillar of the Perooms, Grim Monolith, Noble Hierarch, Vampiric Tutor, Birds of Paradise, Mana Crypt, banned right now, but I think it's going to be unbanned real soon. Hellkite, Brushland, Terror of the Peaks, Spectator Seating. Okay, this is what I need to take out of this deck. So originally, I put my Ur-Dragon video out. You could hear me talk about all the cards, all the synergy, stuff like that. It's a long-form video on this YouTube channel. And when I was rebuilding this deck, because I want to rebuild it to show it off, I took some basic lands out of the deck, and I forgot to take out land tax. So land tax doesn't fit in this deck anymore because I don't have any basic lands. So I've got to get rid of this, and I've got to make a substitution. And that's why I'm so excited for Tarkir Dragonstorm. Because there are all kinds of dragons that I want to take advantage of. Maybe the Mox Jasper in here. So definitely this one's getting subbed out. Minus Morgul. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to talk about right here. Someone online actually taught me about this after I posted my video. Scourge of Valkis. Whenever Scourge of Valkis or another dragon enters a battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player where X is the number of dragons you control. Imagine you have the ancient gold dragon and you, Mr. Bearded Nerd, you are able to roll a d20 and you roll a 20 or you roll a 20, then you do a bunch of damage to somebody else. So this is one of those great combos. I didn't even think of this while I put this in. I just really like the Ancient Gold Dragon. So that's a really, really good combo. You know, I actually can't remember if Tiamat's in this deck. Casting cost was massively high. And I can't remember if it got cut or not. Let's look through. Lightning Bolt, Smothering Tithe, Plaza of Heroes, Show and Tell, Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, Tide Channel Pathway, Delighted Halfling. Ah, there he is. The Dragon God is in here. It did make the cut, so don't you worry. All right? And it will still make the cut unless there are lower casting cost dragons that are better. Right? Because one of the things that I really pay attention to when I play Magic, and I'm actually going to get out of the spoilers here, and I'm going to go to my Mox field because I want to talk about something interesting with Magic the Gathering. All right. When I build my decks, if you want your decks to be competitive, I've got this number in mind. I want the mana value of the deck to be under 200. I think that's really, really important. And so I'm going to go over to my dragon deck. It's called House of the Dragon right now, named after the Game of Thrones series. But the total mana value of this deck is 195. The lower I can get that, the quicker this deck is going to move. Tiamat's a great dragon, but the casting cost is 7. I would love to see a dragon that's equally as powerful with a casting cost of 4. That's going to reduce that total mana value from 195 to 192. All right? So you see, when I talk about total mana value, there's 7 mana cards on the or mana symbols on the card. This has 9. This has 6. You could see a lot of these dragons are a really high casting cost. Skitherix only has 5. That's a lot more palatable to me. 6 for Ramos, 5 for the Goldspan Dragon. Old Gnawbone is 7. This is only a 1. It's not a dragon, but it helps with dragon, so I really, really like that. So I'm really hoping in this set, the power creep is very real, and we get a lot more dragons, a lot more dragon-type things that have got a low casting cost. Let me look up the spoilers again, and if you guys want to name some in the comments, that would be awesome, but I want some lower casting cost dragons to make this deck work better. One of the problems with this deck is that when I'm playing it, it moves a little slower than my other decks. Like if I'm playing my Chatterfang Squirrel General deck, it runs this dragon deck right over because it's too much to get my cards out. Now, Bearded Nerd, you mentioned Dragogenesis. Great card. You may cast dragons without paying their mana cost. That's one of those cards that can really, really, really help. Why can it really, really help? Because even then, if the mana value is high, I can still get it out. But I don't know how much it helps me in this deck because it's still a really high mana cost. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I could put Omniscience in this deck and it would work a very similar way. Let's see what else we got here. See, here's a great dragon, Spirit Dragon. Nirev, Heart of the Storm. It's casting cost of 1 colorless, a red, a white, and a black. Fine. If a creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, deal twice that much damage instead. Great dragon for a casting cost of 3. Here's another one of 5. Bador, Kin to All. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Card draw is always a good thing in Commander decks. I promise you that. You will never regret some extra card draw. We have Taval, the Arbiter of Virtue. Flying, lifelink, and spells you cast have Delve. That's great for a dragon deck, and the casting cost is only 5. So that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking to get a bunch of these dragons with a low casting cost from this Tarkir set. And I really, really want some dragon support, right? Like low casting cost, either humans or goblins or monuments or something that will help get my dragons out quicker. So I'm so excited about the set. Let's keep looking. Botanical Sanctum. But anyway, Land Tax is going to come out. Sarkhan's Soul of Flame. That's like what I would consider a really good dragon support card. Volcanic Island. Dragon's Horde. Ignoble Hierarch. Demonic Tutor. Dragon Master. Outcast. Again, a low casting cost dragon support. Scale Lord Reckoner. One of my favorite dragons of all time. Nicol Bolas the Ravager. See, that's casting cost of 4. This is what I want when I'm building decks. I want them to move fast. Taiga, Sarkhan Unbroken, Felwar Stone, Plateau. And we'll just keep going through here. Ancient Silver Dragon, great card. High casting cost, though. I would love for that to come down. And do you realize how much better this card would be if the casting cost was only 5? Like, that's such a huge underrated part of Magic, like the casting cost of the cards. So that's my dragon deck. And I'm looking for suggestions when the new Tarkir Dragonstorm set comes out. And I can't wait. I'm going to buy them all. And we are going to make some alterations. So we're done talking dragons. Well, not quite. We'll probably go back and visit Tarkir. But I want to show you some cards I picked up tonight. Just some extra reinforcements for some decks I'm working on. Sanguine Bond. Mystic Remora. This is always a good card to have. I call it Rhystic Study Light. The Displacer Kitten. This one is absolutely bonkers. And Bearded Nerd, this is a card you are morally obligated to like because it comes from the Baldur's Gate set. Bastion of Remembrance. Insane. Bonkers in an aristocrat deck. Fauna Shaman. Kind of like a tutor for your creatures. Love that card. Swords to Plowshares. Heliod Sun Crowned. This card is so underrated. It's not even funny. And speaking of other underrated cards, like for like $3 or whatever I bought this for, Drana and Linvala. Activated abilities of your creatures or opponent's control can't be activated. Drana and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponent's control. This is insane. This card. This is a problem for people. Mirkwood Bats. You have a token deck where you could sacrifice tokens or like a treasure deck. This card is for under $1. It's the best card of all time. Like this in Corvold, this in Olivia Opulent Outlaw, this in my Chatterfang deck is absolutely bonkers, right? Chatterfang creates 10 tokens, then all of a sudden, an opponent loses 10 life. Not an opponent, all opponents, each opponent. So bonkers, Illusion Shoreless Sea, the Goldspan Dragon, Colossus Hammer for my equipment deck. And if you pair that with the Pure Steel Paladin, which I picked up, bonkers. We'll talk about that in a minute. Corpse Knight, Reanimate, always a good card to have. Get something early out from a graveyard. Simic Growth Chamber, and the Mystical Tutor, an old school copy of it. One of those game changer cards. Check this out. Pure Steel Paladin. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Pure Steel Paladin. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Again, drawing cards is huge. So my equipment deck, I needed this card. And the Colossus Hammer. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. All right. Equip is 8. So it costs 8 to equip. So it's 10/10, but it's an 8 to equip, which is a massive casting cost. But look what Pure Steel Paladin does. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. In Metalcraft, equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. So in an equipment deck where I have a bunch of artifacts out, this and the Colossus Hammer work really, really well together. You want to build like a Boros equipment deck, these two cards are an absolute 100% include. I just didn't have them when I built my equipment deck, but I have them now. Do me a favor. Like this stream, like this live stream, give it a thumbs up if you are liking this combo, if you are liking this comment. Just give me the support. I want to bump the algorithm up like crazy. All right, Bearded Nerd, Mirkwood Bats is amazing. It goes hard and definitely worth putting in your deck if you can make it work. No, absolutely. And anything with a token, the Mirkwood Bats has to be in, right? If you're making a lot of tokens, Mirkwood Bats has to be there. It actually works in an Aristocrat deck too. Jaden says, I run Drana and Laval in my Vamp deck. Yeah, I do too. It's an insane card. And then Seba says, same in my Markov. Yeah, I have Adrenaline Valet in my Markov. I built a secondary vampire deck. It's a bit of a vampire aristocrat combo. I used Sorin as my commander. I like Sorin, and I figured, yeah, maybe be son versus father, some kind of cool theme like that. I may, and it's Sorin of House Markov. I may convert it to a Tessia deck. We will see what happens. But anyway, these are the cards I got tonight, and these are some reinforcements for my deck. So those are the reinforcements. And now for the grand finale of the show. Are we going to open up a serialized Mox Amber? I want you to summon your luck. I want you to click that like button. I want you to make some comments. Serialized Mox Amber. This is what we're going for here. All right, has everyone got their luck summoned up? Let's open this pack. You might hear me scream if we get something serialized. I actually got a Journeyer's Kite serialized the other day, and I was able to get this serialized, not from this set, but from another set. A Golgari Grave Troll. I've had some pretty good luck with serialized cards. I've got a Goreclaw, I've got a Ramos, I've got a Golgari Grave Troll. I have gotten, what am I trying to say? The Journeyer's Kite. I want more serialized, but I want a heavy hitter serialized card, right? I want that Mox Amber. So let's look at these cards here. We got Stern Lesson, Scrapwork Mutt, Deadly Riposte, Curate, Mishra Excavation Prodigy, Symmetry Matrix, Mountain, and here we go with the high-end cards. This is why I'm addicted to collector's packs. Queen Kayla, Ben Krug, Visions of Phyrexia, Fareed Enterprising Salvager, Foundry Inspector, not great, Springleaf Drum, Caged Sun, that's okay. Not the greatest card, but okay. Blitzwing Cruel Tormentor, not a terrible card. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent loses life equal to life that player lost this turn. It's a good little black card. And then you can convert them into Adaptive Assailant. I rather would have had the Shattered Glass version, and then Harbin Vanguard Aviator. Well, I got to tell you, this was not a great pack. I wish I would have saved the Journeyer's Kite serialized for this show, I didn't. I opened it up. There wasn't a camera on me. I screamed. I went crazy. But Caged Sun is actually really, really useful in a monocolored deck. Like you use this in a red deck, so I suppose I can use this. Not worth the $20 price tag of the pack, but I wanted to open a pack tonight on the live, and it's fun to open packs. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's gambling, right? But as Caged Sun enters the battlefield, you choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+1. Whenever a land's ability causes you to add one or more mana of the chosen color, you can add an additional mana of that color. So great for a monocolor deck, and I do have some monocolor decks. So yeah, that's pack opening. Anyway, we opened some packs. Not a bad little haul. Got all these cards, and then we went over the Dragon deck. So that is Muscles, me, Bobby Maximus, all the Muscles, and Magic the Gathering. These are cards I love, cards I played for 30 years. I have a massive collection, but I've played for 30 years. I've collected for 30 years. And I'm kind of new to the Commander game, to be honest with you. Last 2 years, I really started diving into Commander. Before that, I was all about collecting full sets. I actually had 40 complete sets, kind of like this, watch. Ooh, check this out. This is one of my favorite sets of all time, New Capenna. And I've got a bunch of art cards in here. Just a beautiful, beautiful set, if you can see it. Here we go, look at that. Right? Just beautiful. So this is a complete set of New Capenna. I have every single card released in the set. So I had about 40 complete sets. A couple of good friends of mine convinced me to play Commander. And that was it. I was hooked. I wanted to make Commander decks. I thought it was a better way to share my collection with all of you and meet people in the community and play. And so now, out of my 40 complete sets, I have 5 left. All the rest of them are torn to shreds. Just pulling cards out of them to make decks. Kind of like Baldur's Gate when I got rid of my Displacers kitten from it because I needed it in my Atraxa deck. So that's what happens. But anyway, Magic the Gathering, a huge passion of mine. Hey, listen, I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight. It's nice to have friends, especially in the community. Not everyone likes Magic the Gathering. I was teased a lot for liking Magic the Gathering growing up. To be truthful, there are some people in my life that tease me still for it, and that's fine. But it's something that I absolutely love, and I like sharing it with you. So it's nice to have friends, even online. So thank you for the comments. Thank you for coming by. Really, really appreciate it. Share the channel with your friends because I just want to share my passion of this stuff with the world.